1 in 25 people you will meet in your lifetime has absolutely no conscience, no guilt, no remorse, no capacity to feel what you feel when you hurt someone. And right now, one of them has already chosen you. Not randomly, not by accident, deliberately. This video is about the documented science of how psychopaths and narcissists select their targets. Real research, real brain science, real patterns identified across decades of clinical study. And by the end, you will understand something that most people never do until it is far too late. To understand how psychopaths choose their victims, you first need to understand what makes their brain fundamentally different from yours. In 2005, researchers at King's College London conducted brain scans on convicted psychopaths and compared them to people without the disorder. What they found changed how scientists understood psychopathy forever. The part of your brain responsible for fear, guilt, empathy, and moral decision-making was significantly smaller and far less active in psychopaths than in normal brains. This is not a choice. This is not a personality flaw. This is neurological. When you see someone suffering, your amygdala fires. You feel their pain. You want to help. You feel guilty if you caused it. When a psychopath sees someone suffering, their amygdala barely responds. It is not that they decide not to care. It is that the part of the brain that generates caring simply does not work the way yours does. And this is precisely what makes them so dangerous, because they can watch you suffer and use that suffering to predict exactly what you will do next. A 2012 study published in the Journal of Research and Personality made a discovery that was deeply unsettling. Researchers asked participants to watch short video clips of strangers walking. Just walking. No conversation. No facial expressions. Just the way a person moves through space. Participants with high psychopathic traits were significantly better at identifying vulnerable targets, people who had previously experienced victimization, simply from the way they walked. The researchers concluded that psychopaths have a finely tuned ability to detect submission, self-doubt, and emotional availability in seconds from physical cues alone. The slight drop of the shoulders, the gaze that goes down instead of forward, the apologetic posture of someone who has learned to make themselves smaller so other people feel more comfortable. These are the signals they are reading, and they read them faster and more accurately than almost anyone else on Earth. Let me describe something to you. Tell me if it sounds familiar. You meet someone, and from the very first conversation, they listen to you in a way that nobody has ever listened to you before. They remember everything, the name of the city you grew up in, the thing you said about your father that you almost immediately wished you had not said, the dream you mentioned once, quickly, almost embarrassed, that you have never told most people. They remember it, and the next time they see you, they bring it up, as if your inner world is the most important thing they have ever encountered. Psychologists call this mirroring, and in the hands of a psychopath, it is one of the most effective manipulation strategies ever documented. Here is what is actually happening inside their mind during that conversation. They are running what researchers describe as a psychological inventory. Every detail you share, your fears, your wounds, your values, your needs, is being cataloged. Not because they care, but because every detail is a potential lever, something they can use later to reward you when you comply, and withdraw when you do not. A 2019 study in the journal Personality and Individual Differences found that individuals with dark triad personality traits psychopathy, narcissism, and Machiavellianism were significantly more skilled at extracting personal information from targets in initial conversations than individuals without these traits. In other words, the conversation that felt like the deepest connection of your life was a data collection exercise, and you gave them everything they needed. How do they look the person they have chosen every single day, kiss them, tell them they are loved, and feel absolutely nothing? The answer lies in something researchers call predatory empathy. Normal empathy works like this. You see someone in pain, your mirror neurons fire. You feel a version of their pain. That feeling motivates you to help them. Predatory empathy works like this. They see someone in pain. They read the pain accurately. What caused it, how deep it goes, what would make it worse, what would make it stop. But they feel none of it. They simply use the information. A 2011 study at the University of Chicago used brain imaging to observe psychopaths when shown images of people in pain. In normal participants, seeing someone in pain immediately activated the neural circuits associated with empathy and discomfort. In psychopaths, those circuits showed little to no activation. But, and this is the part that disturbed researchers most, when psychopaths were specifically instructed to try to feel empathy, those same circuits activated normally. They can turn it on. They choose not to, unless switching it on gets them something they want. That is predatory empathy, and it is why the person who made you feel more understood than anyone was never actually understanding you at all. Now that you understand the science, here is what the research actually says protects you. Not paranoia, not closing yourself off, not becoming someone who trusts no one. Because isolated people are actually more vulnerable to psychopaths, not less. A 2018 study published in Psychological Science found that people with strong social networks and multiple close relationships were significantly less likely to be successfully manipulated by individuals with dark personality traits. Because psychopaths rely on two specific conditions to maintain control: access and isolation. They need access to you, and they need you away from people who might reflect reality back to you. If you maintain strong connections, people who knew you before, people who can say, you are significantly harder to manipulate. The second thing that research consistently shows protects people is trusting physical response over rational thought. A 2016 study at the Max Planck Institute found that the body's threat detection system activates up to 4 seconds before the conscious brain registers that something is wrong. That feeling in your chest, that tightening in your stomach, that quiet voice that says something is not right, even when everything appears to be fine, is your nervous system detecting something real. Psychopaths are extraordinarily skilled at bypassing your rational mind. They know which words open which doors. They know which emotions to simulate to get which responses from you, but they cannot bypass your body's threat detection. If something feels wrong, it is wrong, even if you cannot explain it, even if they can. The most important thing to understand after watching this is not that everyone around you is dangerous. They are not. 1 in 25 is a significant number, but it also means that 24 in 25 people are not psychopaths. Most people who love you actually love you. Most connections you feel are real. The goal is not to become someone who trusts no one. The goal is to understand how the ones who cannot love pretend that they can. Because once you understand the mechanism, the mask becomes visible. And a visible mask can no longer protect the person wearing it. The mask always slips. It's just a matter of time. I'm behind the mask, and I'll see you in the next one.